Welcome, welcome.
Are we all set?
I think so, unless we wanted to give like another minute or two for people to join, or if you're ready, we can get started.
Let's give it about another 30 seconds. We'll see. Split the difference.
30 seconds exactly.
Okay. Think we're ready to get going? Well, hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us for this Tech Tuesday. We are from Michigan Disability Rights Coalition, and today we're going to be talking about assistive technology for gardening. Can we go to the next slide?
Is it working?
Yeah.
Okay.
So welcome again. We're from Michigan Disability Rights Coalition and the Michigan Assistive Technology Program. Every state has an assistive technology program, and in Michigan, we are it. My name is Laura Hall. I use she, her pronouns. I am an AT specialist with the Michigan Assistive Technology Program, and I specialize in the areas of community living, gardening, and smart home and home automation using products like Alexa or Google Home.
And I am Jaleesa Irwin, MATP's outdoor recreation specialist, AT specialist. I go by she, her, and hers. So yeah.
And I am Abby Squires. I am the chat moderator today. And I'm going to try and talk at a slower pace for the interpreter and captioner. I'm already excited and know I'm going to talk fast, so I'll try not to. But anyways, I am MATP's Assistive Technology Specialist for gaming and for crafting.
So our mission is to cultivate disability pride and strengthen the disability movement by recognizing disability as a natural and beautiful part of human diversity while collaborating to dismantle all forms of oppression.
And we also, just as a note, Abby, if we can go back to the next slide, we're going to be describing the pictures on the slide because we don't know, the needs of our audience might change as we're streaming live on Facebook. And just as a point of access, the picture on this slide is of a dark-skinned, dark-haired man using sign language. Next slide.
So here at MATP, MATP is a free program for people with disabilities by people with disabilities. We provide in-person and virtual demonstrations of assistive technology. We present trainings to organizations, businesses, and other professionals on accessibility and being inclusive. We have a lending library and also offer short-term loans of AT to help to identify what works and doesn't work. And our services are available to individuals of all ages. We have AT for infants to older adults. MATP also travels the entire state of Michigan, so all the way down to the Indiana-Ohio border, all the way up to the UP. And the image on this slide is of our MATP logo. It reads MATP in capital letters. The middle image is of a light bulb with 2 green leaves in it. And underneath the light bulb, it reads Michigan Assistive Technology Program. So what is AT? AT is a tool, software, or app that can help people with disabilities, including older adults, do what they want to do. Technology can make things easier for everyone. For people with disabilities, AT opens up possibilities. So why use AT? Well, when used properly, assistive technology provides more opportunities to engage in activities that make activities more inclusive. It can help develop a sense of independence and help individuals confidently complete tasks that previously required assistance. Examples of feeding and dressing. There are no specific age or skill requirements to use assistive technology, meaning that almost all individuals with disabilities can benefit. So after we go over our whole spiel of the awesome AT that we have for gardening, you're able to request a demonstration or a short-term loan. So individuals meet with an AT specialist, they review how the items work and compare and contrast features. Then you would call the demo line, which is 800-578-0280, or go to the demo link and contact us and see exactly what you would like to do. So questions and housekeeping. Questions are welcome throughout the webinar today, so please type them in the chat or you can unmute and ask.
Also, I just wanted to add just a reminder, if you are using the interpreter to pin the interpreter, she is spotlighted, but also just in case if you wanted to make sure that they're always on the screen.
And then the image on this questions and housekeeping slide is of a light bulb in a bubble drawn on a chalkboard, I guess this is what you could call them.
Okay, so I just wanted to start out talking a little bit as a group about our experiences with gardening, and I wanted, on the slide we have a picture of actually my backyard and my garden from last spring and summer. It's a wheelchair accessible garden bed that has green beans growing on it, and I used a piece of my service dog's crate that was an extra panel to use as a trellis for my green beans. So I wanted to just start by saying that I kind of grew up with the love of gardening from very young. My dad always had a garden in our backyard, and he would take me out of my wheelchair and throw me in the dirt. And it was my job to, push in the green bean seeds, and my sister's job to cover them up. So my garden grows wild. I love to grow green beans and other types of vegetables like peppers and tomatoes. I put things in the ground and I see what comes up. I am not by any means a master gardener, but I just kind of wanted to share that about me and myself. Um, Wondering if we can open it up for conversation a little bit to see what other people like to grow. You can unmute yourself or put it in the chat.
I will add that my garden is a little different than Laura's garden. We have a very, very large garden. It's, I believe, 100 feet by 100 feet. We have rows of corn. We do 12 plus tomato plants. We also have over 50 strawberry plants. And of course we do like the green peppers and the green beans and cucumbers and squash and all that fun stuff.
That's great that you're able to have a large garden. I'm a little space confined, but you know,
Also, I'm
that
so
happens.
sorry. I just wanted to interrupt for a second. So I am gonna remove the spotlights from Jaleesa and Laura. So then on Facebook, it will show the interpreter. So if you are wanting to see Jaleesa and Laura, if you could just change the view of your Zoom, or if you could pin them, and if you need help with that, just let me know and I can walk you through. I can put that in the chat. And then Samantha said, I work with people who have varying degrees of vision loss, and many of them are missing their garden. I have met a range of people from flower gardeners to vegetable growers.
I hope that you can find some things that would help the people that you work with. I think we might have a few ideas for you today.
Would you like me to go to the next slide, Laura?
I think we have one more comment on,
Oh.
this is from Asian A.
Yep, it says, I am new to gardening. My niece came up with a great idea for us to grow the flowers for our wedding next year. So we're going to give it a try. I love that. And I want to know what kind of flowers.
Yeah, we don't know yet, but we'll try it.
All right, well, when you do figure it out, I want to know. I'm
Okay.
excited.
I think we can go on to the next slide.
Okay.
Okay, so some of the things that we'll cover today are types of beds, and also we'll cover some options for indoor gardening. We're going to cover a variety of gardening tools, hoses and sprayers. We're going to be covering things that can help with seeding, items that can help with weeding, and our items that can also help with harvesting once you've done all the hard work and it's time to pick your bounty. Need a way of harvesting and getting them back to the house. Another section that we're going to focus on today, which is new to this presentation, is smart garden options. So these are some of those areas where we get a little bit more high tech. You can go to the next slide, Jaleesa.
Thank you.
So I have recognized when I've done research in this area or looked for products that there's often some there's some question about terminology, and people call different products different things. So I just wanted to clarify for the purpose of this presentation some terminology. So first we have like an in-ground plot, and that is in the upper middle of the screen. It's a raised probably about 6 inches off the ground, and it's just a plain box with soil in it. And that is something that I consider to be like an in-ground plot. Now, when people are searching for raised garden beds, you may come up with beds that are of all different heights. So for some people, this could be a raised garden bed, what I'm calling an in-ground plot, because it is raised off the ground. I do want to say, for the purposes of our training today, mostly when we're talking about raised garden beds, we're talking about waist level. These would be the ADA compliant or barrier free beds. You can do a search for wheelchair accessible to find these beds that are kind of at waist height. So I'm going to go through a few options for raised garden beds. The first one is a garden bed that is raised up on 4 legs and is surrounded by on all 4 sides, and it allows you to plant, I would say, probably about maybe 1.5 to 2 feet deep. These are a good option if you're looking for a quick and low cost way to start an accessible garden. We did notice with these that after a year or 2 of use, the legs start getting rotted, the wood starts getting rotted, and very honestly, you have to watch how much weight you put in these. I had one a couple summers ago that was just like this, and it got bumped just slightly, and because of the way that it had been weathered throughout the spring and summer, it kind of just all fell apart. And so recognizing that these are cheaper, but they're also less durable than some other options that you might find. So the second picture on the slide is one that I actually found by searching for wheelchair accessible garden beds. And this bed is the type that you can roll right underneath. It's kind of set up like a table, and it's got reinforced edges that are with a metal bracket. And so this is, I've had this bed for a few years now, and this has really held up more to the winter. I do like this bed because it has two different heights that you can grow at. So I think in that first picture where I talked about my green beans, they were on the top level, and then on the lower level, I had radishes growing that didn't need quite as much growth space. So that's an example of another type of raised bed that you may find under ADA compliant, barrier free, wheelchair accessible. They use all these type of terms. Another option for a raised bed, if you're looking for something small, are these raised garden beds that are on wheels. So they have two wheels, a place to plant that's about, I'd say, 1.5 feet again deep. And then there's also a rack on the bottom so you can keep your garden tools. So this is something that you could move relatively easy if you need to. Probably before it's planted would be best, but if you need to move it, it is movable. And you can grow things there. And then the final picture on the slide is of a 5-tiered planter system. So it looks kind of like a magazine rack, and it has window, what word am I looking for here? It has plots that oftentimes you'll see outside of a window pane, that are stacked 5 high, and you could reach that way if that is another way that you need to reach a raised garden bed. Can we go to the next slide? Okay. Another option that's becoming really popular is indoor gardening. There are products on the market that allow you to grow indoors. Typically, these are for smaller things like herbs or maybe one type of plant like a tomato or a pepper. There are different types out there. They typically come with some sort of tray system. The first one on the side is called the Grow LED, and these come with these come with about 8 types of planters, small planters that fit under an LED light, and you can pour water into them and grow them that way. The second picture on the slide is of a product called the Aero Garden, which is a bit fancier. In this system, you are growing solely hydroponically, so you're using only water. It comes with pods that you can put in the growing space, and then you fill the reservoir with water. It has a timer. You can set it to auto water and take water from the reservoir. You can water it yourself, or you can set it to go at certain intervals. So lots of things coming out with these type of indoor gardening options. And we're going to go into a little bit more about these in another slide when we talk about smart gardening. Can we go to the next slide? Okay, Jaleesa?
Oh yeah, sorry. I had to mute myself. So we have extendable garden tools. The first image on the slide is of a long, hard rake that has an ergonomic handle in the middle, that is used for like less strain on your back, and it's just an easier way to grip onto the rake. And then the second image is of an extendable rake. And so what this rake does is you just twist it and you're able to extend it to the height that you may need.
And Jaleesa, does this rake come with different attachments?
Are you talking about the red one?
Yes, the Corona, the extendable one.
So not so much attachments, but it does come in rakes. I think it's rakes, shovels, and cultivators.
There are all types of extendable rakes out there too.
Mhm.
I think what we liked about this one is that you could adjust it, and it had different different tools that you could buy in a set that came with
Yes.
it.
And I feel like that one too is just sturdier too, at least for the handle.
Yeah.
Yes.
So next we have ergonomic hand tools. The first picture on the slide is of a hand tool that has an arm cuff, which these come in a set as well with a cultivator, a shovel, I think a weeder. And what's nice about this is that you can put this around your wrist and you hold it, you hold the grip. So it's actually using the muscles in your forearm. If you're not able to hold on to the tool as well, you're using the muscles in your forearm. They also have long handled versions that work with this cuff that are shown in the picture below. So there's a shovel, a hoe, a cultivator, and some sort of pitchfork looking type. I don't think I've used that tool, so I'm not sure what that is. But these are also, they work with the arm cuff. They're in bright colors, so yellow and green could make them more visually accessible. The thing that you need to consider with these is, the longer that you go out extending from your forearm, the less leverage that you're going to have, the more that you're going to have to use the arm muscles. And so it could be a good option for a lot of folks, and for other folks, the hand tools might work better. On the third picture on the slide on the right, we have a set of tools from a company called Radius Garden, and these are ergonomically designed with curved handles that are sort of like an umbrella handle to make them easier to grip. They have a nice grip with silicone, so it's not slipping, and could be an easier way to use tools too if you have a different type of handle that's not just a straight handle. Can we go to the next slide?
So we also have different types of sprayers and hoses. So the first one that we're showing on this slide is of a fire person style nozzle. So this is different than your regular or your standard I guess sprayer that has like the push button for your finger. This you bring back with your entire hand or arm or wrist or whatever it may be that you use to bring it back. And there's different varieties of this. There's this type of one that we have on here that is just like a long tube. We also have one that looks like your standard sprayer as well. And then we also have a long handled sprayer. These come in a bunch of different varieties too. This particular one, the head of it swivels, so you're able to point it in any direction. And then you can also change the type of spraying, like soak, mist, whatever it may be. But on this one, you use your thumb or whatever else that you want to use. It doesn't have the push button. You use your thumb to turn on the sprayer.
The Melnor sprayer that Lisa just described is one of my favorite gardening devices. I have it on my hose because I'm a person with limited dexterity in my hand due to cerebral palsy. So for me, holding down the garden hose and watering for a long time can be really taxing. I like that you're just able to use your thumb in a flick, and you can change the direction of the head. You can change the type of spray. So I personally find that one really helpful. And then the third picture that we have on the slide is of a hose. It's called the Flexzilla. When we were looking for hoses, we were really looking to find that balance between something that was durable, something that wouldn't kink, and something that was relatively more lightweight than than the heavy duty type hoses. And while this one is still about probably 6 to 7 pounds, it is heavier. It doesn't kink, which is nice, and it's just designed to be easier to uncoil and coil back up. So that's one option for a hose that's kind of a happy medium, I would say. There are the hoses that are meant to, they're coiled up, and then when you run water through them, they straighten out, and they're very lightweight. We've had some good experiences with those, and I've had some not so good experiences just personally, because I think it gets caught on twigs and things in my yard, and I've ripped a hole in those pretty quickly. But if you don't have that issue in your yard, it may not be, maybe a more lightweight hose is something that you might need. So there are
I feel like
options
that
out
wouldn't
there.
last long for me, because when I'm in the yard, like I'm just like whipping it and yanking the cord, because I'm not gonna go walk back and untangle it. So I feel like it wouldn't last long for me.
Yeah, I think it's really based on your needs and your yard, and how much you're going to be moving it around. I sort of put things all over my yard, so there is a lot of moving of the hose around the yard. But if you just got one place that you're watering, I think a lightweight one would work really well.
Do we have any questions in the chat at all?
Nope, not yet.
Oh, all right. So we're going to move on to seeding. So I have a bunch of different types of seeding equipment on this page. The first being a seeding square. And so what this is it's a 12-inch by 12-inch square that has different holes in it and different colors on each hole. And what the holes are for is for indication on how far to plant your seeds. So let's say if we're going to plant beets, you would poke a hole in the dirt on all the red circles. This comes with a guide that has the different types of seeds that you may be planting, along with how deep to plant them. And it also comes with a funnel so that if needed to help get the seed into the hole that you've already pushed in, you have a bigger surface area to funnel the seed down into the hole. And then it also comes with a stick that has indications on it or indents to let you know how deep you're going. And I think it's inch increments.
So Samantha, I was thinking about this when you mentioned that you work with folks with visual disabilities. And because it is with bright colors, I'm wondering if it might be something that would be helpful. The other thought that I had is if you have somebody who is missing gardening, that's missing their sight completely, could you modify this a little with some tactile things like bump dots or some sort of tactile indication to show where the red, yellow, blue things are? Just an idea.
And then we also have another version of that, the seeding square, except this is a ruler. And it's kind of the same idea where it has holes in it just for seed placement. And at the bottom of the ruler, it does say like lettuce 8 inches apart, beans 12 inches apart, whatever it may be. And it also comes with the stick to poke a hole into the actual holes. So that is another good tool to indicate on the placement of seeds. And then for grabbing seeds, we have a magnifying looking seed planter. So what you do is you take off the clear part on top, on the circle part, and you put the seeds in there, and you can adjust the seed size. So say if you wanted to plant 2 seeds in one hole, you could adjust the side. I don't think that there's really any indication on what size it is. It's, I think, trial and error to see what seed size you have. And this just stops like 5 seeds from falling into where you only want to plant 2 seeds. And then there's a little, I guess, slide for the seeds to slide down into the hole that you've created.
This is helpful also. Just, I mean, seeds are so small.
Yes.
Just trying to get one out of the package could be taxing in itself. So
Yes.
I like this product for that.
So we're going on to everyone's least favorite part about gardening. Well, it's my least favorite. I don't know. So other people might love it. Laura, will you explain the first image on the slide?
So sure. So the first image of the slide is of a product called the Cobra Head. It is designed to help with weeding. It's got a foam handle on the end that's easy to grip. It's got a hole in the handle for hanging it up, which is nice if you need placement of your tools. And then it's got a curved head with really is kind of looks like a little snake head at the end of it, which has a blade in it, but it's curved around so that it's safe, that you can use to do some of your weeding. Does that make
Yeah, I've
sense?
never used that one. And I know we have a longer version of that as well. That's really long. So the next image that we have is called, our product is the Weed Zinger. This is a fun little weeding tool to make weeding a lot more fun. With this, it's sort of complicated. What you can do is it's a long pole. You can push down on the little foot pedal, and what this does is it raises the ball at the top, a little mechanism. That's what it's going to do, is kind of like drop a trigger. And once you push that into the ground, the claws at the bottom grip onto the weed root. And when you pull up, the weed and root should all come out. Then you pull the trigger and it releases the weed. This is Abby's favorite tool as well, because we sit there and we throw weeds at each other. I also have an image of an individual using the weeding tool. I don't remember what kind of weed she was trying to pull out of the ground. But a lot of folks like this.
It's called the Weed Zinger.
Yes, Weed
Carly?
Zinger.
And I'll put that in the chat, the link for it too. And we're going to be sending out a resource list afterwards as well.
Yes. So we also have tending tools. The first image is of a big black foam mat. I believe it's like 1.5 inches thick. This has a handle on the top of it. It's kind of cut out so that it's easy to carry around. It's called the Gorilla Grip. It just gives that padding for, kneeling on the ground, sitting on, whatever you may need it for. Another version of that's kind of makes it taller is the Tom Care Kneeler. And this is a bench and as well as a kneeler. It also comes with a pouch on it. So the image that I'm describing right now is of it in the upright position, which makes it a bench. It has a little tool bag hanging off the side of it. And then if you flip it over, that's what makes it become the kneeler option. And so a lot of folks like these because if you want to sit or if you need to get farther down on the ground, whatever it may be, this is a great universal tool for that. We have an individual who had actually tested it out, and she texted me the next day after using it, and she's like, I love this bench thing, which I have an image of that, and along with pruning shears on the bench.
And then in the middle of the screen is a garden cart. This is from a company called Sunny Days. Sunny, SUNNY DAZE. So it provides you a place to sit. It's on 4 wheels, so that you can use your legs to kind of get around your garden. It also has a compartment underneath the seat where you can keep your gardening tools. So a lot of folks find this helpful. So rather than having a bench that you have to move to different parts of your garden, you can use the cart and take it with you as you're going through your garden. We have a lot of community gardens that really like these carts as well.
And that's another cool thing. Yep. 1 second. That's another cool thing about the Tom Care Kneeler. It's also very lightweight. Making it fold up is kind of difficult at times. But making it into a bench style, where you pull out the legs, that does help, or that is moves smoothly.
And in the chat, is there a loan out process if we want to try before we invest in our own tools?
There
Yes.
is.
Oh, hold on one second. I'm moving all sorts of slides here. Would you like to explain that, Laura?
Sure, there is. So, not sure if you caught the beginning slides, but we were saying that typically what happens within our program is that we would have one of our ETA specialists call you and contact you about what you are looking to do. If you have something in mind in particular, that's always good to know. If we have something that is comparable, we might also bring that out to show. And then after the demonstration process, if you're looking to keep it for a short period of time, we can loan it out depending on whether we have it, whether somebody else has it loaned out at the time, there might be a short wait. But typically we provide loans for about 30 days. And if there's extenuating circumstances and you need it for longer, we can extend that a bit. Just it's kind of individualized to what you need. So does that answer your question? Okay, great.
She said, awesome, thank you. And then I also put in the chat, if you're not in Michigan, every state does have an AT program and they may have that for you. But I don't know, we're super cool. So I don't know if they also have this stuff, but if you need help finding what your, or like where your state's AT program is, you can give me email and I can help you find who runs the AT program in your state.
Thanks, Abby. So now we're kind of getting into the exciting part for me, the smart gardening things. This is my area where I like to automate things and make things as easy as possible for as many people as possible. So on the upper left-hand corner of this slide is a picture of a plant and flower smart sensor. And what this does is it's about, well, it's 2.5 centimeters, which is shown in the picture, and 13.2 centimeters deep. It has 2 probes on the end of it that you stick into the soil. And on an app that works with Android and Apple and Bluetooth, it'll tell you the moisture level of the soil, the current temperature outside, the sunlight, and nutrients that are in the soil. So this is not as expensive as I thought. It is around $120. There are other brands out there that look similar, and the price varies. So these are relatively new, and I would say, you know, just shop around and look at what different types are out there. The second picture on the slide is of what they call a smart hose watering system. The one shown by here is by a company called Beehive. So what you do is you attach this box to your water system, to where your water connects, and that then hooks onto your hose. You're able to download the app. It has a Wi-Fi hub that comes with it, which is pictured. It's a black box with almost looks like a remote control holder that you plug into the wall. And it comes with an app. And with that app, it also is able to tell you, you can water it using the app. You can set up timers. It can tell you when it needs to be watered because it senses it pulls the local weather data and is able to tell precipitation, temperature, and those types of things. So it is really a way that you can kind of automate your watering process. So all sorts of different things that the app will tell you. I think these are really cool development.
That's wild. This is the first time I'm hearing about this one. And that
I
is so
know.
cool.
And oh, I forgot to tell you, this also works with Alexa. So you can tell Alexa, when do I water next? Alexa, water my garden. Alexa, water this area of the lawn or a different area of the lawn. Actually, when I was doing a search for Alexa commands for this particular product, there were over 120. And many of them are a different way of saying the same thing, but there are a lot of things that you can control with Alexa. So if you're unable to use the app, um, unable to water, you can use your voice to water your garden, and that is so cool. The third product on the slide is an example. It's actually called a smart garden by a company called Click and Grow, and this is about the simplest system that I've seen to start your own indoor garden. It works hydroponically, so again, you fill the reservoir. It comes with pods that you put into the different placements that click in, so they're already packed, ready for you to just click in. You can choose on the website whether you want basil or some other type of herb, or, and again, this is meant for more of a smaller herb garden. It has an LED light that is above, and it plugs into the wall, and it's pretty self-sufficient in terms of knowing when it needs to turn on the light and also take the water. The thing that you need to watch is just keeping the water reservoir full. When I read reviews on this, people said that you do start to see sprouts within, several days of planting. So you can see you're growing right away. And it's about the simplest way that you can do gardening, in my opinion, with having everything kind of all in one.
I love that. I'm too impatient. I want to see results right away.
Yeah, I think that's why they make pods of things that are easily growable and can show you results pretty quickly for people like you, Abby.
That's awesome.
Next slide.
So we are moving on to pruning. I have a bunch of different pruning devices and shears on the screen. So the first one is for like the heavy duty, I guess, branches. This is an electric battery operated chainsaw. It's small, handheld. This one particularly is teal in color. It has a battery. I believe it comes with 2 batteries, a charging pack. And this is really, it makes it just lightweight, simple to cut smaller branches. I wouldn't go and try to cut down a tree with this. You'd be there for a while and it probably wouldn't be the safest choice. So it does have a guard on it, a chain guard, so that the chainsaw, if it did ever fall off, it wouldn't fly back at you, because these type of power tools are they're kind of scary. So yeah, that's a nice little tool to have around, super lightweight. My grandma used this to like do a bunch of branches in our orchard. A lot of people, or individual in Tawas, she tried it out and she made her husband buy her one for her birthday. So yeah, it's a nice little tool to have. We also have a battery operated pair of pruning shears. So again, this is battery operated. It's just a little trigger that you'll pull, and this just cuts no bigger than 1/4-inch branches. I wouldn't try anything bigger than that. It might break them. Again, this comes with 2 batteries and a carrying case. Underneath that image is fine tip pruning shears. So this would be for like your herbs or delicate flowers or whatever it may be. But these ones just have a very fine tip. They're spring loaded, so it makes it easy to, slice. Yeah, they're nice little tools to have as well. And then we have my favorite pruning shear. So these are Fisker's pruning shear. I believe it's, I'm trying to remember the name of it, but it has a gearbox, I guess, in it. That just makes squeezing close the shears a lot more easier. It glides. It slices through so many things. Again, I bought these for my grandma for her birthday. I know Abby's bought a pair for her dad. They're just very sharp and it's just easy to grip. The one downfall is they don't make them for people who use their left hand. Just the placement on how you use them is just odd. It's not set up for people with left hand who are left-handed.
Which is so weird. But yeah, when I first used it, like the way I was like, this is too weird. I could never use this. But then like after I started like clipping a few things, I was like, this is the best thing ever.
Yeah,
Are you left-handed, Abby?
No, but
Oh,
oh. But yeah, they should. That's so
they should. Yeah, I want to
I'm gonna
recommend
write
it
a
to them.
letter.
They do make pruning shears out there that are made for left-handed people, but not Fiskars. I
Specific.
haven't personally tried them out because I'm not left-handed. But yeah.
well, I am. So I
Well, we
think
might
should
need to get you a
some,
pair, Laura.
right? Okay. And then so you've gone through your gardening season, you've seeded, you've watered, you've weeded, kept the weeds away, and now it's time for harvesting. Just a few things that can help if you're looking for some hands-free ways to carry your produce or your flowers or whatever you're growing. The first is of a bucket that you can actually sling around your back, so it kind of fits more like a backpack, and distributes the weight on your shoulders. I know that can be difficult for people carrying heavy produce. Another option is something that is called the Roo apron, and this is something that I thought was exciting because I have to use my wheelchair and I only have one hand to carry in things that I pick. So this actually is an apron that you wear that has a nice pouch, almost like a kangaroo pouch. And you can see that in the picture that the woman is carrying quite a bit of apples and pears in there. So that's another option. Also, a third hands-free option is something called the berry bucket. This is 3 liters. It comes with let's see, it comes with a belt that is attached to the berry bucket, which is just plastic. And then it also has a nice place to put the bucket and hold the lid at the same time. So we have the berry bucket available. Any questions so far?
Nothing in the chat. But if there's questions, feel free to unmute or type in the chat.
And if you don't have a question, we would like to ask one of you, couple of you, did you see anything new today? And are you aware of any other AT products that you did not see today? We fully acknowledge that we are probably just touching the surface of things that are available out there. So if
Yeah.
you've seen other things, we would love to know.
Yeah, Sarah said those harvesting backpack sling things are awesome.
Great.
And Samantha said lots of new things.
I hope you got some ideas for the folks you work with, Samantha. We have other things in our inventory like magnifiers, different types of magnifiers and different types of products for low vision. So maybe it might be a combination of, putting together an item for low vision with a gardening item. So
Yeah,
let us know if there's someone with some specific needs.
she said definitely thank you.
And did you see anything that you weren't aware of today? Was the smart watering systems, was that stuff new to folks?
That was very new to me.
Okay.
That's so
Yes.
cool.
Yeah.
And I was trying to look it up real quick. I think I saw something for like $62 and then there was one that was like 127. So I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
there's different for the plant and soil sensors. There's a really varying different price, and I think a lot of people are trying to make them, but maybe not as high quality. And so the one that I put in the resource guide, which you'll be getting, is one that's on the more expensive end, but I think it is, I think it's more durable than some of the other ones that seem to have higher reviews. It's hard when people make the same kind of product, but they make it in a different quality. So, you know, you
Yeah,
just kind of
and
have to do your research.
yeah, and Lydia says, yes, I saw many new things that I was not aware of. Thank you. And Tara says, I loved all the tools shown today, and I'm excited to start our garden club. I'm excited for you to
excited.
start your garden club. That sounds awesome.
We'd love to come if you get some folks and they would like to use some things. We'd love to come and show them.
Oh, and Michelle says lots of new things. I founded a free community veggie herb garden 6 years ago, and I'm really looking forward to adding some of these to our collection. We have a weeding tool similar to the stand-up one, Grandpa's Weeder, maybe. I'll Google it.
I have seen that, the Grandpa's Weeder.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And
Yep.
then that is really helpful. The harvesting buckets will also be great for apple, cherry, and berry picking. Thank you. Thank
Yes.
you, Michelle. And
We-
if you want to give me some more information on your garden, that sounds really cool. Where are you located? In Durand? Oh, I always stop in Durand on the way to my dad's. That is so
we
great.
also have berry picking. That you mentioned berry picking or berry storage or whatever, and we do have blueberry pickers as well in our inventory, which I really want to test them out. So if you have
You might
blueberries
just
in
need
your
to
garden,
stop by.
yes.
Yeah, we'd love to partner with any of your community gardens to see what we can do in terms of you being able to see products before you buy them or try them out or loan them for a short period of time. We'd be happy to do that or train community gardens on what's available and out there. So lots of ways that we can connect. And if you would like to connect with us, both my email and Jaleesa's email are on the screen. Mine is Laura, LAURA, at mymdrc.org. And
mine,
Jaleesa's,
oh,
go ahead, Jaleesa.
and mine is JILEESA at mymdrc.org.
And we do have a survey that we would love for you to fill out. We do have federal funders, and they would like some data, and we would love some data on how on how you like the training today. Sorry. And if you could fill that out, that would be amazing. It helps us. It helps our funders. It helps us know that we're going in the right direction or need to go in a different direction. So again, if you want to know more about our organization, our website is www.mymdrc.org. And we have an assistive technology page there. Abby is we are going to send out the resource guide after the training, and that will have all of the products that we showed today, as well as different ways to contact us and how to follow us on Facebook. So we would love to connect with you in all of those ways.
Yep. And then Brian says, thank you. Very cool to see the adaptive options. And Samantha wrote, what do you want to put as area for the UK? You can just pick the very first county, and then there should be an option to be able to type, and you can say that you're from the UK. And I'll put your name down too, so I remembered. But thank you for asking that.
Thank you for joining us from the UK too.
Yeah.
Any other questions or comments before we end today?
And Samantha says, thank you for having me.
We have a Tech Tuesday. What is it now? Every month, Abby?
Yep, and I believe the next one's going to be on the 30th.
So follow our Facebook page for that. And If you're not on our email list, the resource guide will give you a link to get on our email list, and you'll get notices of all of our Tech Tuesdays that are upcoming.
Yep, and Tara says, thank you all, and says thanks.
This has been a really fun presentation. Thank you all. Happy spring,
Yes.
I promise, even though it's snowing.
Sarah says, happy gardening, and thank you.
Thanks, everybody. Have a good day.
All right.